City News everywhere.
This is not safe. This is not right.
The Health Sciences Center was so short-staffed over this past weekend that they were forced to close half of their emergency department beds. HSC's emergency department has 69 beds and needs a baseline of 24 nurses, but only had 8 scheduled, according to Manitoba Nurses Union President Darlene Jackson.
To close half the beds in an emergency department the size of health sciences with the scope that they provide is very unusual.
A spokesperson for Shared Health says nearly 150 patients visited the emergency department on both Saturday and Sunday, which is near the daily average of the last 4 months. Wait times didn't stray from recent norms, which Shared Health attributes to 24 nurses who picked up shifts over the weekend, while others extended their shifts. Managers also worked the floor to support patient care.
There were 20 workload staffing forms filled out at HSC with 73 nurses signing them.
Jackson says a workload staffing form is filled out when nurses finish a shift where they believe they did not meet standards of care. She says 73 nurses signing the sheet over the weekend showcases how thinly spread they were in the emergency department. City News spoke to an emergency doctor who worked this past weekend who, for fear of repercussion, did not want to appear on camera. They said, quote, "Every time I go to work, I find out another nurse I've worked with for a long time is leaving. I'm not kidding you, almost every shift that happens. What that speaks to is that even though nurses love working here, love the patient care we provide, love the staff that we work with, they just can't continue to work under these circumstances where every day they stay for overtime and don't get breaks. They're exhausted and you can't maintain that." The doctor says they've never seen that many emergency beds closed ever, not even during the height of COVID. Shared Health says for the week ahead, nurse staffing challenges in the department will remain significant, but not as severe as this past weekend, filling holes through staff callouts, offering overtime and having managers working on the floor again. Jackson says until Manitoba can work on nurse retention, the healthcare system will continue to bleed nurses, and this weekend will no longer be considered a one-off.
I can understand how a nurse can do a 16-hour shift sort of as a one-off, but to be mandated to do them repeatedly in a stretch, 4 or 5 days in a row, like that is almost inhumane.
The vacancy rate for nurses at HSC's emergency department is currently at 32.3%. In Winnipeg, Mike Albanese, City News.